deeper with Lobbing Scorchers. You know, scratch under the surface, get down even dirtier than we already get. Become a YouTube member. Sometimes things just get a little too spicy, a little too weird, and a little too loose for the general public. And you know, the people to see that are YouTube members. We're talking about exclusive bonus videos, the podcast after show, exclusive written content, and little bits and pieces of information before the unwashed masses know about it. As a member, you not only get access to all of this amazing content, you get a badge next to your name and a slew of amazing emotes to use, not only in our live stream chat, but also in our comment section. And yes, we do have an emote for Jesus Ferreira, Go Snack, and Paul Rothrock. This is the best way to help keep us independent and keep us building out this crazy YouTube brand that we call Lobbing Scorchers. Hit the join button down below or hit the link in the top of our description if you're on mobile to join the ranks and become a Lobbing Scorchers YouTube member.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of Under the Lights. We got a great show for you all here this evening. We got Noah here for Under the Lights.
I'm here.
You don't see that every day. We got Cristian Roldan to talk about. We got some soccer-wise sound to react to. And we're going to be looking at our favorite Decision Day matchups as well. Coming to you from a little bit of a later start time tonight with the Mariners playing in the ALCS. We figured probably not the greatest timing to be letting a sounder stream rip like right in the middle of the game. That game's pretty much over. That series is not going particularly well, but I think we made the right decision. We know a lot of you guys were probably watching that. I was watching that. So anyway, we're here now and we got some Sounders to talk. Noah, what's up, man? Thanks for hopping on late on this Thursday evening. How you doing?
I'm doing. I'm on the mend. I still sound a little sick, but I feel a lot better. So
you look better than you did on the last time you tapped in sick. That was tough.
Yeah, it was a tough scene last time, but you know, we put in a full shift today of being alive, and I thought, you know what? Let me tap in. Let's make this our official podcast for this week because we had the Decision Day blues so far, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to catch up with you. We got a lot to talk about. Decision Day coming up, obviously. Always a big day in Major League Soccer. Not really actually that big a day for the Seattle Sounders, at least relative to what it's been in years past. Remember in years past, they've been like fighting for second seed, and if they lose, they could fall to like sixth. Then there's with each goal, the points change, and there's so much pressure on it. Seattle's in fifth. So it's really more, this game in New York City is a lot more about putting in a good performance and vibes than it is about the points. But there's a lot going on in the rest of the league. So we're going to look at that and check out our favorite matchups later as well. We got GBT starting off the super chat train, which we love to see. Tribe, we love you. He says, fun fact, if you attack one of our own players in a Blue Jays kit, there's a 10% chance they award a win to the Mariners. It's tough. It's tough for the old nerds tonight.
Yeah,
but
do we do nerves off the top? Do we just get it out of the way and hit our rapid reactions?
I'm down to talk a little baseball before we get into it. Why not? That's what's trending right now. Before we get into anything else, though, please like the video, sub to the channel, rate 5 stars, follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Buy the Lobbing Scorchers hot sauce, lobbingscorchers.com/sauce. Sub to Sounder at Heart. Is that it? Is there anything else to plug? What am I missing?
No.
All right. Let's get into it. Yeah, we can hit some Mariners takes off the top. I mean, neither of us are baseball experts, but we both follow. I mean, you've been a Mariners fan for a lot of your life, and I follow them decently closely, so we can be baseball guys for a few minutes here, even if it's coming off another disappointing game for the Mariners coming back to Seattle after being up 2-0, getting those miracle wins in Toronto, having the chance, if you win one of these next two, all of a sudden the World Series is right there, and they've really just not shown up.
They bungled
for these last two games, so that's unfortunate, but I mean, it feels dire right now, but it is 2-2, and I think one thing I was thinking about while I was trying to cope, Noah, was just like watching the baseball playoffs this year. like the momentum in baseball like swings so fast. Like the way you can perceive a series or how things are going in a given moment, it just like my head's spinning with how fast it's changing. So that could like there's still half this series to go theoretically. That could still happen. It feels like that's not in the cards right now. But I just don't. It's not impossible, is it?
No, I mean, listen, they lost a bunch of games and then basically had to win out to win the division, and they ended up doing it. Like, they love to put themselves in a shitty situation and dig out of it. The last 2 games, the pitching's been terrible, the hitting's been terrible, everything's been terrible, and they've let the Blue Jays play their game. They didn't do that when they were in Toronto, and I don't know, like, what are you gonna do? But I was at the game yesterday, and bad vibes only. Bad vibes only. The bliss of the first 2 innings absolutely then just gut punched by the remaining 7 innings was horrifying. It was terrible. But minus $200, and I would do it again.
It's about the pitching letdown for me. Like if the Mariners, we all know that they haven't been an exemplary franchise the last several decades. But if there's one thing that they actually are actively good at, it's developing starting pitching and having the best pitching staff in the American League, at least. And like if George Kirby and Castillo are going to get worked on like that, it's like nothing else matters. Like that's it right there. You need them to be able to pitch roughly in the vicinity of how they normally do and not lob batting practice up there. So I think if you're looking at like what's deteriorated in these home games, these last 2 games, that's got to be it, man. Like it's just not what I'm used to seeing from those guys.
We'll see what happens. There's a game tomorrow, so go M's. And I can't say that I'm surprised. I can't say that I'm upset. I can just say that I've seen this play enough times to know whatever happens, and you can't disappoint me. My whole life has been a disappointment with this team.
You've been in the trenches anymore. You've been in the trenches.
I've been in the trenches
more than I have. Yeah.
25 years. I've been in the trenches. Yeah. We're good. I'm fine.
Jake says, what's worse, watching the Mariners or seeing the Sounders drop points after the 87th minute? Scott, watching Kirby and Castillo pitch the last couple of days, it kind of felt like I've been feeling when the crash out red card boys show up and they give away the 87th minute equalizer or whatever it is.
What's the worst performance against a Canadian team? Seattle Sounders versus Vancouver Whitecaps in Vancouver, or the last 2?
2017 MLS Cup, easily.
That too.
That's got to be it. I mean, the Whitecaps game this year might have been a bigger debacle performance wise, but the 2017 Cup had a lot more stakes on it. All right. Well, I think that's enough baseball.
Yeah, we're baseball pundits now.
Yeah, that was good. That was good baseball punditry. I enjoyed it, but let's talk about the Seattle Sounders. That's like a more positive topic at the moment. 2 straight wins. Getting ready for the playoffs. They are the number 5 seed, which you want to be in the top 4, but they do have a Leagues Cup trophy to their name that I think softens the blow of the 5 seed a little bit. And Cristian Roldan. No, ever heard of him?
I famously have. I famously have heard of him so much so that there's an entire section of the internet that hates me personally and subtweets me personally whenever he does well.
And I think the beautiful thing about what we're about to talk about with Cristian Roldan is I think you have more than full license now to take a little victory lap. And really, I think one of the things I want to talk about with this is like, I feel like that, it's not just you and your Twitter crusades. I think it's the entire Seattle fan base. The entire Seattle fan base can take a victory lap on this because, we've all had to sit back for the last however many years and watch our boy become a punching bag for this fan base that they're not commentating in good faith on this stuff. They're toxic about it. And they also have no idea what they're talking about. And it's really...
And famously will openly admit that they don't watch any of these players.
Yeah, that was that was also funny to see some USMNT punditry going around of people who cover the U.S. men's national team who were saying, "Well, I don't watch Cristian Roldan with the Seattle Sounders at all, so I have no concept of whether he's doing well or not at the club level." Brother, don't you cover the U.S. men's national team? I don't expect you to watch every game of every player in the pool, but to like gleefully flaunt around that you don't give a shit enough about like what you're doing to even keep track of it and like jokingly flex on it like that. What are we doing?
Number one USMNT soccer podcast, by the way. We won't name names, but
we won't name names, but it's just that was embarrassing. And let's set the stage though. Let's set the stage. Cristian Roldan called into the U.S. men's national team. They played this friendly against Australia a couple days ago, and Pochettino has been saying that he likes Cristian and he's going to give him some run, give him a chance. Which that's number one thing that I appreciate. We'll talk about Pochettino, but he lets Cristian Roldan cook for this Australia friendly. And Noah, I mean, I didn't watch the game live, but once I saw what was happening and saw how Cristian was doing, I went back and I watched some of it and I saw all the highlights. Obviously, I mean, am I exaggerating to say that he was the best player on the field and they won the game because of him?
I mean, it's a little exaggerating. He also assisted the Australia goal, so he truly had 3 assists in this match. That said, one of the defenders blasted a ball into his chest, and he was just like, in the penalty area. So I don't know if I can completely blame him, but he does get bossed over. I don't think he was bad though, really at any point. I wouldn't say this was a complete game for him, but I think that
it's the most complete game he's had for the US.
Correct. I wouldn't say this was like a vintage Cristian Roldan performance that we would see for the Sounders, but like we've said so many times, the men's national team is a different beast. It's weird chemistry, it's different formations, it's different players every time. It's chaos ball. I think he, in those circumstances, had a really damn good game.
I mean, like, I mean, I'd have to go back and watch all the tape to know for sure. But I mean, let's be real. He had 2 assists. He assisted on both of the goals, including the assist on the game winner that he got to Haji Wright.
Oh my God,
that is just
what a ball!
What a ball! But then also like the heads up, quick restart, seeing that he has the opportunity to do that and then laying it in perfectly. It's just a brilliant heads up play, and he gets rewarded with the assist for it, and that's the game winning goal. So that he doesn't get on the stat sheet crowd, that was a tough night for them, and it was just it was great to see because I mean he's gonna get the performances like that get you more run. They get you more run. He's gonna get called in again, and obviously
he's not just Ari. He is Cristian Roldan is not just going to get called in to another camp. Cristian Roldan is going to be on the World Cup roster. I do not care who you are. I do not care what you think. Pochettino is putting him on this roster. It's happening. He will be there no matter what. Will he start games is now the question. Will he start games is a genuine question. Cristian Roldan starting World Cup 2026. The agenda that I have been pushing is coming true, folks. It's coming true.
No, that's exactly what's happening, which is really funny. And the way you can tell is, I mean, first of all, like these things are earned on the field. So with a performance like that, he has earned it on the merits. But then if you saw Pochettino's press conference after the game when he was asked about Cristian Roldan, I mean, the guy Pochettino can't talk glowingly enough about him. But he literally said, I mean, it's so funny watching Pochettino discover like what we've all seen in Seattle for the past 10 years. I believe the rough quote, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he said something like, man, this guy, he does everything. He's like the perfect player. That's what he called. That's what Pochettino called him. That's not me. That's not me saying it. That's not us saying it. That's Pochettino saying it. And I guess that brings me to my second point, which is that Pochettino, He knows ball. Like at this point, I know we gave him a real hard time at the beginning of his tenure. I think deservedly based on how it was going. But I gotta say, the more I see how he's handled the player pool in the call-ins and how he's got the team from where it was at the beginning when he first took over to now, aren't the vibes just so much better? Like the
They're
vibes
so much better,
are much improved. And the way I look at it, like you kind of gotta give him. It wouldn't be fair to rag on him as much as we did, and then when he does things well, to not give him his credit. And so it is partially, giving him his credit because he's calling in Cristian Roldan, and we like a Cristian Roldan, and we think it's funny how people who don't like Cristian Roldan react when he gets called in. But it's not even just about Cristian Roldan. Like you can tell that he's doing a merit-based system on how he's doing the call-ups. He's not discriminating based on league or anything else. And he's like actually trying to put his honest like takes on it. And I can respect that. So
he's not he's not going on X the Everything app and listening to a guy named CONCACAF George Michael.
No.
Your username is like Haji Wright's left toenail. Like you have some weird Twitter username like Balogun sucked me off or something. Like he's actually watching the games. He's watching the games.
Yeah.
Listen, he knows what he's doing. I'm sorry. Like I don't like the US men's national team because of the fans, frankly. But Poke's kind of, he's making me, Ari, I'm going to admit it. Poke's making me like this team again.
He's like winning me over. Yeah.
This was the exact quote that he had about Cristian Roldan.
Yeah, read it.
Cristian Roldan is an example of how if you want to build your perfect player, he has a little bit of everything. Off and on the field, that's what we find. Pochettino says Cristian Roldan is your perfect player. The bots.
In shambles.
They're in shambles.
And he's right.
They can't talk shit on this guy.
Yeah. No, well, I think they I mean, you mean Pochettino? They can't, because some of them already turned on him a long time ago. It took like one negative result or one previous Cristian Roldan call up for that to happen. But it was funny. I did go on X the Everything app, and I just wanted to see how the bot community was doing, how they were handling it. And there was some of what you would expect, which is people discounting it or claiming that it doesn't count. There was some like it doesn't count because it's Australia going on. There was some of that, but then there was also more than I expected of like begrudgingly admitting like, okay, like he actually that none of them like flat out admitted that they've been wrong this entire time and have no idea what they were talking about. They're physically incapable of doing that.
Don't know how to do
but
that.
there was more acceptance of it than I was anticipating for a fan base that actively roots against its own team because they want to be proven right about their takes on players in the pool. I was surprised at how much they actually accepted and acknowledged what took place. It was pleasantly surprising.
Yeah. Here's another Pochettino quote about Cristian Roldan, because let's just layer him on here. Cristian is a very aggressive player on the pitch. He has the capacity to motivate, talk, communicate. That's very good things to have in a player like him on the pitch. Off the field, it's similar. He's always positive. He's always smiling. He's always energetic. He's always positive in every single thing. That's really important to keep that mentality, and that idea on how we want to live together outside is important. He's an important player on the field, of course. He needs to be, because that's the first relevance that we take. But he's also helping a lot outside because he's very energetic and happy. That guy's contagious with his energy. And that's what I've been saying. He's a vibes guy who can still play the role. He can still play the position. He's had his best season of his career at this late, quote unquote, age. And he's a guy who can help bring this team together. This team was famously not very good at being together. Like, do we not remember the whole Gio Reyna saga and all of the like Pulisic's dad versus some
Landon Donovan
podcasters.
is a podcast, the podcast rivalry.
It
was a battle of content creators. You got
Yeah,
documentarian, you got documentarian filmmaker Pulisic going at it with podcaster Tim Howard and Landon Donovan.
And they're most famous for those things, not for the soccer that they play, clearly.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got the team captain putting out a documentary where he's like going after the media. You got the former players with their podcast calling out the current players. And then on top of that, like a program that has just had really mediocre to outright bad results really for ever since the whole switch from Berhalter to Pochettino. And it can't be a coincidence that as soon as they give Cristian Roldan a bigger role, the vibes completely turn around. They actually win a game. Like, coincidence? I think not.
I don't know. I think he is a good engine. I think that, he's starting to settle in more and play better. Obviously, this was his best U.S. men's national team performance ever, statistically speaking, and I think even just vibes wise. But man, it's
validating.
It's validating. It's really validating. And I went on they still have these on X, the Everything app, the spaces, when you can like talk to people.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of bots in one of those, and I requested to get in there. And I just started
to just get in
as a speaker, and I got accepted, and I just started laying down the Roldan propaganda, and honestly, it was just a bit of a troll job. So it felt good to do that, and then them not able to say anything. Oh well, he has one good performance in 50 caps and blah 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 blah. And I said, and guess what? That one performance, he's going to the World Cup. Stay mad.
No,
stay mad.
He is. What you said is exactly right. Like it's now a debate of how big a role on the team should he have, and should he be starting at the World Cup? Like I said, there is a lot of time for things to change. Your stock on October 16th, 2025 isn't the same as it's going to be next summer necessarily when the World Cup rolls around. And I'm biased. I admit that I'm biased, but if it was me making the starting 11 right now, say I was making the starting 11, there's a game tomorrow, bet your ass he'd be in there. And that is partially because I'm biased, but it's also, you can absolutely make the case now, like based on on-field performance. Not really. I don't even think just in this game, like he's been playing well, like since he started getting called back in again. And this was just kind of like the culmination of that. So it's it was just beautiful to watch him have a game like that for the US, because it's what we've known that he can do this whole time, that he has not, I would argue, has not really been given an extended opportunity to show that. A coach,
and now he's in his position. He's in his natural position.
In his natural position. He has a coach that gave him a fair shot and clearly respects him and believes in him. And sometimes that's all it takes. So props to Pochettino and Cristian Roldan, 2026 World Cup starter. The agenda is on. Book it. It's probably happening.
Buy your stocks now, so that when it happens, you'll be like, look, we told you. I'm just saying, our agendas, we have a really high hit rate, Ari. We have a really high hit rate on our agendas, and I fear that we're going to continue with this one.
Yeah, and I mean, there was just such a long period of time, though, where, like, I always thought the narratives around his USMNT career were bullshit the whole time. But even like getting back to the last World Cup, even with that into account, I would not have like argued that he necessarily should have been like a prominent player on the team over certain other guys. I think I argued at the time that he probably should be getting a bigger role than he was getting. But this is different now. This is different. Now I'm sitting here like he actually should be starting, like, on the merits. He definitely should be.
And you know what? He called his own shot too, which I think is kind of beautiful. He's been saying, like, I want to play well enough to get a call up. I love the national team. I want to be in this World Cup. I want to work my ass off to get there. He had a goal and he's actually working towards it. I don't hear any of these other like random European guys saying that. Yeah, maybe they want to get called in or they feel like they deserve to get called in, but they're not out there naming it. Like, I will work as hard as I need to work to get this call up. I will come at whatever camp I need to do. I will come in the middle of my season at the most important game. I don't care how many games I've played. He's not going to sit there and say, oh, I'm tired. You can't call me into this camp, Poke. I'm tired. I've played so many games. Cristian Roldan's going to have played like 75 games by the end of this goddamn season, dude. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. And you know what? He deserves the call up more than anyone. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. It's the truth.
Kyle says it seems like having gritty gamers is more important than maxing out your player talent like you're playing FIFA, especially in international soccer. I think it's a great point. Like, he's kind of a Cristian Roldan, that is I think he's a little bit of a throwback to the era when this team was actually better than it's been the last couple years, because it had those gamer type guys who
Michael Bradley, Kyle Beckerman.
He's in more that mold than these guys who, go to Dortmund or whatever, ride the bench, don't do anything when they get called in. Like, he's much more in that type of player that can help you punch above your weight, which, let's be honest, that's what this team still has to be doing, probably more than people want to admit or acknowledge. Like, the player pool, as much as we all thought it was so far beyond those years, I think what we've learned in the last couple of years is that it's really not. So I think that it's a reason why a guy like Cristian might help even more so than the obvious reasons.
No, I'm right there with you. My question, I guess, before we jump on this segment is related to this, but I wanted to ask, are the Roldan brothers the most hated brothers in all of international soccer? Alex is absolute. Like, if you go, Alex tweeted out congratulating Cristian on his obviously his 2 assists. The entire comment section is like, there's like 80 people calling him a coward, calling him a traitor, calling him
for El Salvador stuff.
Yeah, so he is, because he was the captain of El Salvador.
Yeah,
and he stopped for basically, I don't know what's been reported. I don't know what's not. I don't know what's real.
mean, I can give the nutshell of that.
Yeah, give the nutshell.
I mean, basically what I understood of that situation is that he agreed to play for El Salvador. He was getting called in. Like you said, he became a key player for them. He became a captain. He scored a few goals even. And I thought it seemed like he was going to be kind of a staple for that team. And it was like at a time when they were rebuilding, they had this coach, Hugo Perez, who was like trying to turn them into something. And it was like this up and coming team. And then it sounds like it just kind of, stuff fell apart behind the scenes with the federation. It's either like they don't have funding, they don't have resources, the whole thing's kind of a shit show, and that's kind of resulted in players either getting disillusioned or just feeling like it's kind of a crackpot operation, that it's not worth the amount of time that playing for a national team and getting called in for. It's not worth it for an operation that's not like run well or professionally. And so I think that he, like, what I remember at the time is him saying, like, this isn't like something that I can spend my time on. Like, it's just not competently run.
Yeah, then exactly. Well, so he pulls out because of that, but there's a ton of El Salvador fans who absolutely just hate him, which is super irrational. I mean, I can understand being frustrated, but like, it's about player welfare at the end of the day. And if your player is like, I'm not being taken care of in these extra games that I'm essentially now supposed to be playing for free.
Right. Sorry, I think someone in chat brought up there's payment like issue with that.
Yeah. And so you have him, who's now despised by a ton of the El Salvadorian fans, and Cristian Roldan, who is, in my opinion, unfairly cast aside by some of the dumbest individuals online. But I would say the general consensus of USMNT fans is that Cristian Roldan is terrible and sucks, and they hate him.
I would say, as far as like if they're the most hated sibling duo in international soccer, I would say maybe among specific. I think sometimes we lend too much credence to the vocal minority. Like, I think most fans, even of El Salvador, and honestly, most USMNT fans that aren't terminally online don't have as strong an opinion as the bot brigade on Cristian Roldan. So I think there is an element of like, if you actually sized up the number of people that feel negatively towards them, it's probably not that many past the bot brigade on Twitter, which while there's a lot of them, they don't represent like the majority of people or fans. So that's the only kind of qualifier I would give. But you're right. Like I forgot about the whole El Salvador controversy. Like there's stuff with both of those fan bases there. So it's kind of unfortunate that there's negativity surrounding any of that, because at the end of the day, these are both just guys trying to play soccer. Like, it doesn't need to be that heated of discourse. But I mean, this has been the theme surrounding Cristian and his USMNT career for years. So
I completely agree. But
it is.
Yeah, I feel like he's yeah, I don't know. They're hated for no good reason. It's
very silly, but moments like this, especially where I feel like this is Cristian's this was his breakout game for the USMNT. It was easily the best performance he's ever had. He got on the stat sheet twice. It was great to see, and we're excited to see him keep getting called in. Now, Noah, the only question is, how long does it take before Poch watches the film and realizes that this Jordan Morris guy is kind of good?
I think Jordan Morris and Cristian Roldan, both on a World Cup roster, would melt the brains of the already half melted brain individuals. But I don't think Cristian's going to get, or I don't think that Jordan is going to get called up. I think that it's pretty clear who the nines are in this setup. And I don't think there's enough time for Jordan.
Is it Balogun and Haji, right? Is that it?
Probably. Yeah. Balogun for sure is who I would be starting.
Yeah. That situation does seem like it's defined itself a little bit. Like Haji has been scoring a lot of goals in the championship, as I understand it. He scored the goal that Cristian assisted on, the game winner. And then Balogun's looked pretty good. So those would seem to be the consensus, the obvious top two. But if they need a third striker or another attacker in there, Jordan starts playing well for the Sounders. The nice thing is that
both of those guys die, maybe.
Well, the nice thing though is that like I feel like with Pochettino, if he feels like that it's earned and that it's something that he wants to see, he's not going to be afraid of doing it. So it could happen. And like you never know what's going to happen with the depth chart as far as like other players' form or injuries and stuff. So it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, people are saying Pepe as well, but guys, that would require Pepe to have two functional legs, and that's just never going to happen.
There's a large contingent that think that Pepe is like the greatest number 9 of the last generation. I don't know. I don't know this. I don't follow him that much.
Listen, Pepe's great. Pepe is great.
He could be that good. I don't know.
Let's be very clear of where Pepe got his pedigree. Major League Soccer.
FC Dallas. Yeah.
Major League Soccer. What has he done in Europe? Let's look at the tape, okay? Not much.
Well, so apparently he scored a bunch of goals in the Eredivisie.
Okay, come on. So is Albert Rusnak, Like, would you rate Albert Rusnak bots? I don't think so. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I like Pepe. I actually like Pepe.
Yeah,
I watched him play for FC Dallas, but I'm just like, I think it's
I just don't know if he's like that good. I'm just asking the questions.
I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking questions here. Okay. Just curious. Jordan Morris, he's got a fat ass. And there's another sports player with a large butt called the Big Dumper. He scores a lot of runs. Could Jordan Morris score a lot of runs? Makes you think.
what is this an impression of?
I think I was trying to do a combo between Ben Shaps and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, okay, that's the Ben Shaps. That kind of now I'm getting it.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad.
Skidmark's new YouTube member. Thank you for joining up. If you want to support the show, support the channel, that's a great way to do it. Follow Skidmark's example.
Skidmark's example, which also great way to spell Marx. Skidmarks.
Skidmarks.
Fire. I love that.
All right. Anything else on the USMNT or should we keep it pushing here?
I think we can keep it pushing, honestly. 35 minutes on USMNT. I'm impressed that we were able to do that long.
Well, we did baseball punditry for like 5 minutes.
That's
it wasn't
true.
all.
Yeah,
so and we got sidetracked on El Salvador. So there was a lot to the USMNT segment.
That's true. Free Patrick Ajimon. Yeah, you talk about this. I got to get my computer charger. I'll be right back.
Okay. How long until the bots turn on Patrick Ajimon and start calling him the next best thing? He's in championship now, so got to be the top striker in the pool. Yeah, I don't know. Like, how is he doing in the championship? Because my perception of that whole trajectory is that he started the year on Charlotte FC with all this hype. He got all this transfer buzz, and he didn't start the season off that well. Then they still sold him for a bag to Derby County, but then put their U22 Toklamati in his place and became way better as a team. Looked like one of the best teams in the league as soon as they made that change. So I don't know if the Ajimon stock is that hot right now, but I admittedly have not been following him.
The bots don't like Ajimon. The bots have never liked Ajimon. They've always thought that he was a fraud and that he was a terrible call-in and that Pepe should have been there instead of him. The bots don't like him. But along those lines, I think if a player like Patrick Ajimon can get a bite from the championship, how can Paul Rothrock not be getting his phone rung off the hook from the championship after what he's putting up? Does that not make any sense? Maybe I'm trying to speak this into...
Well, maybe he is. We don't know.
That's true. Maybe he is.
Maybe
any agents, Paul Rothrock's agent, let us know. Or Paul. Or Paul's family. Or anyone.
I do think stylistically, well, we've been saying for a while that we feel like that would be that would be a good fit. But don't you think this is on a completely different topic, but I just think there's more than a couple guys on Seattle's roster right now that other teams in MLS should be really throwing the bag at. Rothrock being one of them. We've talked about Moose a lot.
Yeah.
But like I would say if I had to name two candidates on Seattle's roster right now, where if I was running another MLS team that was going for a culture change or just trying to get like a baseline competence or floor, as it were, Moose and Rothrock, can you name like two better guys for that type of if you have that type of roster need, which a lot of teams in the league do right now? Like that's I know it might not be fun to talk about guys leaving, especially a fan favorite like Paul Rothrock, but that's the reality. Like there's going to be a lot of interest in those two guys. I can name 5 clubs right now that could use both of them. Moose maybe even more so because of like his position and skill set is maybe a little more valued, but that's real.
Yeah, I also think Georgie is someone that a lot of other MLS clubs should be bidding on.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if you move him.
I don't think that the Sounders should move them. I don't think that they should move from Rothrock. And someone brought up in chat, they said that the championship is a lateral move. I agree. It really just comes down to like what the player wants to do. Like, does Paul Rothrock like Seattle? I mean, I would assume so. But, I think that if I was a championship team trying to make a push and there was a player like Paul Rothrock available, I don't know. Wrexham, maybe get Paul Rothrock on Wrexham.
That would go crazy content-wise.
That would be content, brother. Okay? And we're in this for content. We're not, we will tell you this all the time. We're not in this to be the smartest around. We're in this to have the best content. And that would be incredible. He would turn that whole town upside down.
I can only imagine.
Poly prime time. They'd probably say like, Poly prime time. Oi, Poly prime time.
Is that your
I'm
Welsh
really bad
or
with my
your
accents today.
You're. I mean, it's. We're recording this at 9 p.m. So we're busting out the impressions and doing baseball punditry.
Yeah,
It's Lobbing Scorchers after dark right now. All right, Noah. I had two more things to get to. I'll let you pick which one we do. Wanted to look at the decision day schedule and talk about which matchups we like the best and kind of preview that. And then I got soccer wise some national punditry related to the Seattle Sounders to react to.
Let's do the decision day first, and then we'll save soccer wise for our.
All right, I can dig it. I'm gonna pull up the schedule right now, and
this is actually an exciting decision day for the first time. And like,
you know what I love about it is that
exciting, but
what I love about it is what exactly what I was talking about with how little pressure there is on Seattle, relatively speaking. These past few years, there's just been so much on the line going into this. It's stressful. I don't like it. This year, everyone else is kind of dueling for our entertainment, and the NYC game matters, but it's not like there's not.
It's like for hosting for the MLS Cup final.
The NYC game.
Yeah, like if you win that, you get points and a record, and then if you happen to face someone who has less points.
Right. Yeah. So no, it does. It's like I definitely have not been trying to say that you should like mail in or punt the NYC game or that the points don't matter. But I do think there's different stakes to it when what seed you are is actually on the line. And there's situations on decision day where teams can be like, are we going to finish in second or sixth? Like that stuff happens. That's a way more stressful situation to be in than what Seattle's got. And there's some teams that are in situations like that, like Charlotte, Nashville, and one other team, and NYC are all fighting for to see who gets fourth place. That's stressful.
Yeah. And we're also going to do on Saturday, if you're still good with it, Ari, a watch along.
Oh yeah, no,
that's of the whole slate, because it's basically only they all kick off at 3 or they all kick off at 6. So we can do a little, hopefully maybe have a little break in between. But like, I'm really excited to watch my favorite game of this whole slate. Ari, can you guess what it is?
I think it's probably my same favorite of the whole slate. Are you talking about the Spoon Bowl?
Yes, the Spoon Bowl.
Let's right here. Spoon Bowl. Yeah. Right here. Oh my God. I'm so excited for this game. I might not even have Whip Around on for this. I might focus on this game. I mean, what time does the Sounders game kick off?
3 as well.
Same time.
Yeah.
All right. Damn, that sucks. I'll
two windows.
I'm gonna be toggling. That's how into the Spoon Bowl I am. For those of you who don't
set up wait, Ari.
Yeah.
I should come over there and we should set up a war room. I will bring all of my monitors, all of my TVs, and we will have a war room.
I mean, if you want to set that up, I'm down.
Done. Okay. I'll play this war room.
I won't be of any help on the tech on that, but
decision
day war room. Yeah. It sounds like we got to do it up. We're doing this big watch along, and there's this for those of you who don't know, Atlanta and DC are playing, and this literally determines who gets the spoon. If DC wins, Atlanta gets the spoon. If Atlanta draws or wins, DC gets the spoon. And really, the novelty, I don't think I've ever seen a decision day situation where it's literally the Spoon Bowl. Like the result determines which one of the teams that are playing get the spoon. But also, dude, like the fact that Atlanta is playing for the spoon and they actually might get it. Like, what has happened? How did they end up in this place?
How do you spend the most money ever on an off season and you are playing for the spoon?
It's mystifying to me. It's baffling. They need to be studied. They need to be studied. I mean, everyone knows I've been tracking the downfall really dating back a couple years now. But this year has been like the most egregious year yet of the Atlanta United downfall. And I just don't know what to make of it. Like I prepare myself every year for them to become 2017 Atlanta United again. And I mean, you remember in preseason, I was saying all that stuff. I was resigned to it. I was saying, oh man, they really cooked this Latte Loth guy. I mean, I have no idea anything about him, but they spent $22 million on him. He has to be good. That's once you spend that much money, you're basically probably guaranteeing that it's going to hit, right? Right? Like you can't spend 22 million and have the guy be a total bust. That just wouldn't happen. They're smart enough for that not to happen. Oh, Miguel Almiron coming back. That's pay whatever for that. This guy, he was incredible in MLS. Why would this time be any different? Those two
don't go back and look at what Ari's takes were on that.
Yeah, I mean, the videos are all out there of that Miguel Almiron was the best move any MLS club made all offseason. It's me preemptively trying to get in front of the turnaround because I kind of don't want the turnaround to happen. I like it when they're struggling like this. But it really, I can't believe that they are actually hosting DC United on the last day of the season for the Spoon. And
if there was a script, this was scripted.
That game is going to be like those guys better be playing like it's a playoff game, like their careers depend on it. Atlanta, even if Atlanta wins that game and they don't get the Spoon, it's still a ridiculous joke of a season for them. But I think there is something to the principle of like, all right, we weren't the worst team in the league. We were the second worst team in the league. Like that matters in some kind of way. You can't spend $30 million to Spoon, man. You just can't do it.
You can't do it.
And realistically, you can't spend $30 million to almost Spoon either.
You should be not just in playoff position. You should be a top 4 seed if you're spending that much money.
There's just no other way to.
And it's like, listen, Arthur Blank loves to donate his money to really terrible causes that ruin our world and ruin our environment and ruin, every aspect of our lives. I didn't think he would try and do it to himself, or he would spend his own money to ruin his own life. So it's shocking.
What do you think he thinks of this situation? Like,
if I'm him, I gotta be just like,
I'm pissed.
I'm pissed, bro. I'm going Adrian in the locker room, brother. I'm flipping tables. I'm firing everyone. I'm doing everything.
Like just imagine going to your boss at whatever your job is and saying, look, I really need $22 million for this thing. And they're like, well, why do you need $22 million? And you're like, look, it's if you just give me this $22 million, this is guaranteed to work. Like this is such a high percentage move. All it's going to take is $22 million. And your boss is like, all right, but I mean, this better pay off because it's $22 million. I'm not really trying to like shell out $22 million on some shit that's going to be bad or not work. And then you go out, you spend the $22 million, and not only does what you spend it on not pan out, but it's like Latte Loth is one of the like 5 least dangerous number 9s in MLS this year. Like,
how do you get your ass owned by Daniel Musovski? Daniel Musovski, the guy who's the second string striker on the Seattle Sounders, has more goals, not just by a little, by a lot.
Double.
And you got paid how much money? I'm just saying. Atlanta United, call us. He's for sale. He is for sale. He will do it for you too. I promise. This is not snake oil.
It's one of the guys that or clubs that I think could most use a guy like Musovski. And like really, I think like, man, if I could give Atlanta United some free advice, okay, it would be put away the $22 million, put away all the transfer fees, go out and find, it doesn't have to be Danny Musovski and Paul Rothrock, but find guys that are like that. If you find guys that are of that ilk and profile and experience in the league, proven in the league, guys who work hard and are good culture guys. I mean, you could argue if Moose qualifies for that, but Rothrock certainly does. Like, that's what you like. Go find guys like that first and foremost, and then bust out the $22 million. Chill with the $22 million. You spent the $15 million on Barco. You spent the $15+ million on Almada, which that's the only one that kind of hit. But then you got Pity Martinez. You got Latte Loth. You got this Almiron debacle. Now you're playing for the Spoon.
And they didn't get paid for their Botafogo transfer, apparently.
Oh, I saw that today too. Should we here I have a
yeah, let's keep bagging on Atlanta, honestly.
Oh, I mean, I'm always down.
Yeah, no,
but this is honestly interesting from the perspective of, Seattle played Botafogo this year, and they looked really good. They had one of the, I think, surprise best showings at the Club World Cup, and they were getting all this positive press. Turns out they might be a little shady with it. I'm trying to find this.
John Textor being shady? Ari, come on.
It turns out
you can't tell me that John Textor, an American, would do something shady in Brazil? No way.
It turns out, like, I thought that okay, here we go. This is a tweet from Joe Patrick, 5 Stripe Final. They do great Atlanta United content.
One of the best specific podcasts for any MLS team.
Without a doubt. But he posted this whole breakdown today on
Oh my God, bro went 12K words on X, the everything app. Come on, Patrick.
We can do the abridged version.
Joe, you got to paywall this, brother.
Atlanta United transfer of Thiago Almada has been a nightmare. Instead of dealing him to another club, he was transferred to a football holding company, essentially an individual investor, the aforementioned John Textor, who's controlling owner of multiple teams. One of Textor's clubs, technically his company's Eagle Football Holdings, Olympique Lyon, was sanctioned to the 2nd division by French's soccer governing body just 2.5 years after Textor bought the team. Lyon successfully appealed the sanctions, called administrative relegation, only after Textor injected 90 million euros into the club this summer and stepped down as chairman and president. And then, I mean, it goes on to basically, okay, here it is. Atlanta United is still waiting on Textor to hand over the money agreed to, reported 24 million as part of the Almada deal, who Textor since sold to Atletico Madrid for reported 21 million.
Dude, they're doing crypto scams.
Yes, exactly.
They're doing crypto scams in soccer now.
Textor is a crypto guy.
Yeah, they're doing crypto scams in soccer now. It's awesome.
I thought he was cooking with all these clubs that he's owning and how well Botafogo was playing. And
does it
turns out they did remember the team that Reggie Cannon played for? That
yeah.
It's the same thing. Their whole strategy with
except they didn't pay Reggie Cannon.
They didn't pay the transfer fee for like any of the players that they bought over like a
or the players themselves.
Or the players themselves. Yeah. But like it was an innovative strategy that they came up with. You agree to a transfer fee for a player, and then you just don't pay it.
Yeah.
That's when Boavista tried that. I was like, damn, why don't the Sounders try that? I didn't know you could do that.
Adrian,
just don't pay.
Adrian, pick up the phone.
Don't pay.
Macklemore, pick up the phone.
Pull the John Textor.
It is awesome that of all people, Atlanta United got crypto rug pulled. Like, is that not the perfect place for that to happen?
Like, yeah, I mean, I didn't honestly, until I saw that tweet from Joe today, I didn't realize that Textor pulled a fast one on them with Almada like that. That's crazy.
Bro, that's what you get when they're like, what if we bought the Jake Paul crypto egg token?
Right.
And then like maybe it'll hatch into a dinosaur NFT, and then we can sell the NFT from the holding corporation to someone else. And then that NFT is actually connected to a soccer player and a contract. So yeah, basically Atlanta United. I don't really know if there's a worse run. There is one other worse run organization, and it's Miami, but at least they're able to actually make deals happen and cheat effectively. Atlanta, they're just getting crypto scammed.
Like the Almada transfer was like 2 years ago.
How have you not gotten your bag from that?
And realistically, like when you have Arthur Blank money, I'm not sure how much it actually matters, but it's the principle. It's the principle. What else?
What happens when he dies? Because he's old. You know what happens when he dies?
Textor, he's not that old, is he?
No. Blank checks.
Blank checks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's like several other blanks that'll just take on over.
But maybe they'll be like, nah, you know,
sell the team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that'd happen. Did you have any other? Let's see. We got Charlotte, Philly. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
Because
but
you
Pep
got
Biel died. He's officially dead
what
for the
happened with
rest of
Pep
the
Biel. That's your
season.
boy. What happened?
He died for the rest of the season. I can't remember what. Let me look it up. I think it was like a
They've
something.
figured out how to play without him though.
I know.
He was your
He's
MVP
so
pick.
good, bro. He was my MVP pick. Like he looked like such a stud all season. Next year is his year. If they don't transfer him, yeah, knee tendon injury. So
I
he's
kind
out.
of I have an affinity for Toklamati. I think that's kind
I
of
do like Tokomani
it's
too.
kind of akin to your affinity for Pep Biel.
You know who I wouldn't mind winning this year, other than the Sounders, is Charlotte.
I agree with that. They were. I think I wrote about it in my Sounder at Heart preview of some of these matchups, but they were my number one pick for like a dark horse team in the East that I could see making a run. I just think that they've been in some of the best form. Really, they almost broke Seattle's MLS win streak record.
Yeah, I know.
They got really close.
Drew it.
They won. Yeah, they tied it. They won 9 straight at one point. And then also, I think how they play lends itself well to tournament soccer theoretically. In that, like you have these teams. A lot of the MLS Cup favorites, like in the West, LAFC, San Diego, Vancouver. These are teams that like make their name on just having a lot of firepower, and it's not like Vancouver's not bad defensively. I don't think LAFC is bad defensively, but they're not like Charlotte is like a well-oiled machine. They honestly kind of don't they play a little like Seattle? Is that like a good
I feel like that's a fair comparison.
They're like Seattle of the East.
Of the East, yeah.
They're like really well rounded, and they might not have like the raw firepower of a Philadelphia or some of the upper tier teams in the East, but they defend really well. They're really strong in midfield. They're good in transition, and then in Charlotte's case, like they got Toklamati, who's a match winner. So that's all stuff that I think when you talk about what plays and what wins in the playoffs, they have a lot of those same attributes. So
and they've been bringing up a lot of like homegrown players, like Toklamati, like Ajiman. Like I know Ajiman. I don't know if he was technically a homegrown, but he was a draft pick.
Yeah, super draft pick.
And I don't know. I like they've built out a very, very good youth base and like young player base and trusting in their players while also bringing in great players like a Pep Biel, like Zaha, who is
he's been a lot of fun
character.
He's been a very fun new character in the league this year in an unexpected way. Like his whole Snapchat like arc.
Dude, the guy loves Snapchat. The guy loves Snapchat, and it's so funny. I've never seen a man of his age be that obsessed with Snapchat. It's incredible.
He's crashing out on Snapchat, but it's like fun crash outs. It's not like toxic. Yeah. It's like
he's like, oi, I work really hard for this club. Like you're making fun of me for
talking
for
about himself. You got to talk about yourself in the third person.
Yeah, it's like they say Zaha. They say Zaha doesn't score anymore. Well, they don't look at Zaha's assist numbers. They don't look at Zaha's passing percentage. They don't look at Zaha's long balls. Yeah, I'm a team player. It's whatever to make this team win.
And you're like, bro, this is your 7th Snapchat story in the past 20 minutes.
The bars are like just like little tiny dots. He's posted 100 stories at this point.
No, he's a lot of fun on Snapchat. He crashes out, but in a fun and endearing way, in my opinion. And he's like turned it on the field as well. Like he actually has become a game-changing player, I think, for Charlotte in more of the way that they expected when they signed him, and in a way that he really wasn't, I think, maybe for the first couple months of the season. And that's why the Snapchat crash outs started. But then he started playing well, and he just kept posting. He just kept on firing those Snapchat stories, which is it is funny, like that he still uses Snapchat.
Correct.
who is still lighting up the Snapchat stories?
The Brits are big on that. He's I don't even think they're a dark horse. Like, you know what? I'm gonna say it, Ari. I'm gonna say it right here. They're gonna be my MLS Cup pick.
Charlotte. I mean, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick. Let's look at the rest of the schedule, and then we can talk about what Jake's saying with Seattle's decision day lineup. Yep. Maybe project a little bit on that. Columbus are low key bad now. Did you know that?
Yeah, they are. They are not good. Wilfred Nancy, fraudulent.
I mean, like they started off looking like the normal crew, and then they had a downturn mid-season that I kind of dismissed and wrote off. I was like, I mean, it's Wilfred Nancy and the crew. They're going to be up in the top 4 and probably contending for MLS Cup. And then I kind of didn't pay attention to them for a while. And then I looked at the table right before decision day, and I was like, the crew, they never came out of that. They might just not be that good.
No, and Darlington Nagbe's having a bad season.
He's retiring.
He's retiring. He's been playing average at best.
They do not look like they're going to win MLS Cup like at all.
No, I do hope that they are in the play-in game though, which I think that's based. Yeah, that's going to happen. I guess they could not. If they win and the chips fall like Orlando.
I think it's like I mean, depending on what happens with this Red Bulls game. Like the crew are probably, I think it's most likely they're going to be in the play-in, which is partially a function of the East being really strong, but it's also like they have not been good for a while now. I mean, let me look at the table. How many games have they won this season? I feel like
they've only won 13 games.
Yeah, and they had won 11 in like August.
They've drawn the most games out of any team in the league, I'm pretty sure, because they have 12 draws, which is impressive. Like they love a draw. They love a draw.
12 draws. They only had a +2 goal differential. They end up.
Toronto has 14 draws. My apologies. I forgot that Toronto exists, but
of all playoff teams.
Yeah, they're not playoff teams. They have the most draws of all playoff teams. Yeah. So,
Jake asked, does Lobbing Scorchers have end of the year awards thoughts? Coach of the year, goalkeeper of the year, MVP.
We'll probably save that for the.
Yeah, no, like, so my idea, Noah, I hadn't even pitched this to you yet, but
I'll pitch it live.
I mean, I was a pitch it live, end of the year awards show where we can share our I mean, I actually get to vote, which is kind of sick, but I can share who I'm voting for, and we can talk about who we think the best candidates are, but then also let's do it for the Sounders as well. You know, team MVP, offensive MVP, most improved player. We'll come up with a bunch of accolades for Seattle players specifically, and then do either both of those in the same show, or we could do them in separate shows as well.
But, yeah, we can get actual awards made and slip them into the locker room when no one's looking.
Yeah, no, we're definitely. I've just been waiting for the season to actually end to decide who I want to pick for Seattle's end of the year awards. But
best red card
I have already
award.
been.
Will be
that's in there.
Award.
Yeah, no, I was gonna have that be a surprise, but we're gonna debate which red card is the best. I mean, I think we already know the answer to that, but it'll still be fun. It'll be a fun debate anyway, because like it'll be a nice trip down memory lane.
Yeah,
we can. There's I think there's the obvious red cards that come to mind, but there's also some
maybe we should do a live award show, Ari. Maybe we should go fast fashion and do a live award show.
Oh, like a live award show. Okay, all right. Maybe. Now we're cooking.
Here we go.
But yes, anyway, we are going to be doing that. Nashville, Miami. That's the one that all the pundits are going to be watching. I don't think
that's the most.
I don't think a single pundit is
the slate.
I don't think a single pundit is going to be watching another game other than that. But I guess, I mean, is there anything on the line standings wise with that? Nashville. For Nashville, there is. They got to win that. They got to win that to try and get in top 4. So they'll at least be going for it.
Yeah,
that's something.
Who cares about that game?
I'm probably not going to watch that game at all. I don't care.
That's like the most boring, non-interesting game of the whole slate. Like maybe Cincinnati and Montreal is also that's also boring because like
that is a pretty horrible matchup.
That's a terrible matchup. Like the Union already won the Shield. Like if the Union hadn't won the Shield, then maybe that would have been interesting. But Sam Surridge, Golden Boot race. That's true. Messi versus Sam Surridge, Golden Boot race. For Miami, Nashville. That's
really
interesting.
Care about the Golden Boot that much, but
no,
it's something on the line. Yeah, that is true.
Bouanga would have won it if you know, he didn't have international call-ups.
Who's LAFC guy? LAFC has the Colorado Rapids.
That is an interesting one. Okay, that's interesting because if LA lose and Minnesota win, I'm pretty sure we would be playing LA.
Yeah, and it's something like that. Really, we want LAFC to just. If you're of the mind that Minnesota is the better matchup, which I am of that mind, then you want LAFC to either win or draw.
Yeah. I will say if it's just this whole thing is crazy because we could be playing. Yeah, we could. We could basically be playing. Oh, I guess we could also play San Diego.
Yep. Yeah. There's.
So it's between San Diego, LAFC, and Minnesota.
I've been pretty consistent that Minnesota is the one I want, and that's the one that is the one that's most likely. But do you feel any different?
No, but I want LA because the tickets to fly there are cheaper than Minnesota. I was looking at tickets the other day, Ari, for that week, and they're like $500 each. But it's like we're going, so
yeah, we probably have to. Yeah,
you know, it's just the Lobbing Scorchers bank account. What we actually want to spend is, you know, it's just
if you want to toss any super chats towards the cause of Lobbing Scorchers,
wouldn't complain.
Go right ahead, but. Yeah, I mean, purely on field though. I think
Denny is in the Golden Boot race. He is. He has 24. Messi has 26. Serge has 23. So,
is there any chance at all that anyone other than Messi gets MVP?
He's fucking. Why is he getting it?
Why? I mean, I might have to vote for him, unfortunately.
No. Anders
Should
Dreyer.
I make a statement and vote
Dreyer?
It's just the I realize the stat sheet isn't everything for MVP, but when you have one player who's that far ahead in it, it's just tough. Like Dreyer is just nowhere. I mean, he's close. He's not that close numerically, I don't think.
Georgie Manungu.
Yeah, okay, I'll vote.
Because he has the most successful dribbles per 90. That's the only stat that matters, clearly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it if I get bullied and peer pressured.
I can't accept that Messi would win MVP off of like doing like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just don't know if 26 goals and 18 assists is nothing.
41 goal contribs is pretty wild. You can't really.
I mean, wait, is that I was just saying numbers. Is that
it's 41 total? Is
I think I think it's more than that because
that's his MLS.
He was 5 off Carlos Vela's record. Well, now his stats page isn't loading. That's sick.
Maybe I'm looking on FOTMob, so MLS probably has it more correct. But
maybe there's secondary assists in there.
There's definitely secondary assists on that. So I don't know, man. Evander's also played good. I don't think he's gonna win it.
I think if it's not Messi, it's Dreyer. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of Dreyer, there's some good matchups in here. The Timbies have San Diego at Providence Park, and that is interesting. That's an interesting situation because they need a result to stay out of possibility to be in the wild card, which Phil Neville himself said is a failure. He said that, which I don't know why he said that, because it's like, dude, there's just a low key a pretty decent chance that you guys are going to end up in that.
Yeah.
But he said, but they need a result to take themselves out of contention for the wild card, and they have the team that might win the West. Like, that's not an easy matchup for them at all. That's one of the best teams in the league. So the Timbies are kind of up against it as far as staying out of the wild card round. But
also you're also betting on FC Dallas winning, and that's just like never a good idea. And they're playing the Caps, who the Caps want to win. They don't want San Diego to be able to like.
The Caps are playing for number 1 in the West,
which they're basically going to win unless San Diego score 10 goals to 0. Because their goal differential, they have 10 more.
You mean if Vancouver wins? And
Vancouver's on 63. San Diego's on 60. So even if San Diego win, they'd be tied on points. Their goal differential is plus 29 for the Whitecaps, plus 19 for San Diego. So the Whitecaps have won.
Plus 29?
Yeah, the Whitecaps have won the West.
Pretty much.
LAFC had an opportunity to win, but their window closed. So because
Vancouver
they lost
really
that last
had
game.
a fantastic season. I think we should probably acknowledge that. I mean, I know how the Champions League final went for them, took some of the shine off, but they really they turned it around. They went on a tear down the stretch, and then don't they feel like they have like the best vibes going right now with Thomas Mueller coming in and him being like one of the boys? He already has 11 goal contributions.
He's a penalty merchant, but yeah, sure.
He was a penalty merchant at the start, but he definitely wasn't on that game winner in Orlando. That was a sick goal, and like but it's also just like it seems like Vancouver and LAFC, unfortunately, with these guys that they brought in, both have bolstered their vibes, and I feel like Mueller was worth it for them, honestly, just for that alone. Now the production has started to come, and then Son has just been, he and Bouanga have been going absolutely nuclear.
They're just like, no, you score, no, you score, no, you score,
and
no, you score,
and they like love each other, and it's like this bromance that's like actually like kind of cool. It's unfortunate, but on one hand, it is I think it is genuinely cool to have guys like Son and Thomas Mueller in the league, and it's clear to me that both of those guys are bought in a way that the famous global Euro star is not necessarily always bought in. It's just unfortunate that LAFC are one of the clubs benefiting to such a degree. The Whitecaps, it's like they've been kind of a long-suffering club, so
I can't even be mad at this season for them. Like,
I don't mind seeing them succeed. But as far as like if the danger that is posed to Seattle in the West, Vancouver and LAFC, neither one of those teams are going to be easy matchups at all. I think both of those teams would be the favorite if they played Seattle in the playoffs.
Yeah, probably. And Jesper Sorensen. Do you think Jesper Sorensen's going to win Coach of the Year?
I do, and I think that's who I'm going to vote for. Like, there's a couple good candidates this year, and I know you have the Schmetz agenda. Well, I mean, yeah, you know that I'm partial to the Schmetz agenda, but don't you think
you can't? But the problem is you're not allowed to take into account Leagues Cup, and so if you're
that's
looking
one
at
thing.
The season as a whole, you look at a season where they dropped a lot of points from winnable positions. And as a coach, how much do you wear that on your shirt? Like, unfortunately, probably a lot more than.
Well, but you could very credibly argue that Leagues Cup aside, that with all the injuries that Seattle had this year, specifically to Jordan Morris and Albert Rusnak, but also to João Paulo, to Jackson Reagan at one point, to Yamar now at a couple different points. I mean, you could go down the list, man. Like, the list of injuries this year has been ridiculous. Leagues Cup aside, you could argue that Schmetz getting this team to top 5 in the West in the regular season, with all that taken into account, is actually pretty impressive. I just don't know if I'm really objectively looking at it, if it's more impressive than what Sorensen has done with the Whitecaps. He changed their whole club from
he won the
an irrelevant afterthought to what I think is the team that's played like pretty clearly the best footy of anyone in MLS for extended periods of time. Like, and they're playing at that level right now. I mean, you just said it. They finished this year with a plus 29 goal differential. Like, you gotta give that man his due for that.
And they won the Canadian Championship, and they won the whatever it's called, the
Cascadia Cup.
Cascadia Cup. Thank you. Yeah.
They did not. I mean, but you're not allowed to take Champions Cup into account. But he almost
They almost did it. They almost did it. They were one bad burrito away.
Let's see. LA, Minnesota. So that means the Loons The Loons should be able to. It's in LA. It's in LA, but come
It
on
would
now.
be funny if
Come on
the
now,
Loons
Eric
lost.
Rams. Do your little. You're on the road. That's where you thrive. Do your little thing.
Do your bit.
Oh my God, can you think of a team that these Minnesota United tactics would be more effective on than the 2025 LA Galaxy? Like I actually kind of want to watch that.
Yeah,
game.
that's going to be a good. I'm actually kind of stoked about that matchup.
Like when you're talking about like
we really are just in it for the shit house games. That's truly our brand.
Yeah, we do this for the content. And the LA Galaxy trying to break down this Minnesota team, that's going to be good content. And you know that it's going to be like 82% possession Galaxy, 27 shots, none on target. Minnesota United, 20% possession, 1 shot on target off a set piece, 1-0 win. Like I'm calling that right now.
100%.
That is what's going to happen. But honestly, Minnesota, one of the reasons that I've been saying that they're the best matchup for Seattle is stylistic, but also recent form. I mean, Vancouver and LAFC have been on fire. San Diego, maybe not as on fire, but I mean, they've still been playing pretty well, I think. Minnesota have not been in good form. They get to play a Galaxy team on decision day that, almost spooned, but Noah, did you know, I read this in a Doyle column, ever since the Galaxy got their first win of the season, which was on June 1st, which is a funny stat. Since that win, they're like 10, 8, and 6 with a +8 goal differential. So it's like not good, but like more like a normal team.
They could be in the mix for a playoff spot.
Right. Like realistically, like for most of the year, they've actually been the quality of like a mid-table, not that great, but not that bad playoff team.
Yeah.
So all that's to say, it's not like it's guaranteed that Minnesota is just going to roll all over them at home. Like the Galaxy might be able to scrap something there, and that could affect who Seattle plays in round 1. So that one's definitely worth keeping an eye on. I'm rooting for
the Sounders fan for sure. We're gonna be eyeing on that. I listen, man. I saw a rumor that Will Kuntz was on a list and like they wanted to interview him for the St. Louis job, and that he declined. Will, I don't know what you're doing. You should have taken that job. You should have taken that job because there are only so many more days where your fraudulent ass is going to be able to be at the LA Galaxy. You should count him, brother. You should count him. He is the most fraudulent GM in the entire league, and that is my agenda that I will wear till I die.
You don't think that they're set up to be a playoff team again next year? Because I was looking at it, and I kind of do.
But what's going to happen with Royce and Puig?
I mean, I'm assuming that Puig is coming back and playing for them next year, which I have heard nothing to the effect that that's not the case.
Yeah, no, I agree. But like, how are they going to split minutes after Royce has been playing really well?
I mean, you have
ship Royce.
You have Puig. You build the whole thing around Puig like you always did. And if Royce is still on the team, he's a super sub. Like he's been their like bell cow this year, but he's 36, and the only reason that happened is because of Puig's injury and other injuries that they had. I don't think they brought him in originally with the intent of building like the entire attack around him like they ended up having to this year. But I think a situation with the roster where Puig is your centerpiece again, and then Royce is like his backup, that could work. And mostly I just think that Puig coming back and then their roster normalizing a little bit as far as like we all know what happened with their roster this year. They put themselves way up against the wall with it, and it totally backfired. Theoretically, that should be like less the case next year. And then
but dude, they could have put Puig on season-ending injury. That was the dumbest decision. That was mind-boggling. They could have made the playoffs. They could, and this is why I don't understand how his ass is not fired. Is because if you look at the form that they went in once they kind of like had some semblance of a team and stopped playing the one center back that they had, who was like famously incredibly terrible. I can't remember his name right now.
Garces?
No.
Zonka? No,
Zonka
was playing in the Seattle games though.
Dude, I know, but regardless, if they would have season-ending injury Pooj, they could have easily been in playoff position this season with like a couple of signings, and it's just like they're so that was terrible management. I'm sorry. I do not like Will Kuntz. I don't.
Yeah,
like
no, I mean you've had the anti Will Kuntz.
He ruined my team that I thought was incredibly beautiful. So
he also made that team though. So
I don't give him that. I don't.
You don't give him credit for that.
That's too logical, Ari. You're making too much sense now. You're cutting against my agenda in a way that makes way too much sense, and I just will not have that.
I think the reason he didn't get fired is because they won MLS Cup last year. And he got equity for that, and then really I think next year is where his job's on the line. Like if they turn it around, and I don't even think they need to be like Shield contenders next year. But they got to be back like 1.6, 1.5, 1.6 points per game at the very least, like a real, like actual playoff team again. If they do that, he'll save his job. But I think he used that MLS Cup equity, get out of jail free card, and that got him through this year. Let's see if I was just kind of looking at their roster today. And I was like, I think this team is actually, I don't know if they're going to be like good next year. But if you look at their improvement in form since the summer, and then Pooj coming back, and then theoretically some other roster movement they can do, I think they're going to be a normal team again next year, which is unfortunate because we'll always have the first 2-3 months or whatever of the 2025
longest
LA Galaxy
winless streak
in
MLS history.
It was one of the most incredible runs I have ever seen from an MLS club in terms of the ways they found to lose. I mean, everyone remembers the game against Sporting Kansas City where they lost the game when they didn't allow Sporting Kansas City a shot, which is, and like people think, oh, like shot on target. No, literally they didn't take a shot. Sporting didn't take a single shot, and they won the game 1-0, which that is finding a way to lose a game that I really genuinely did not know was possible. But like even outside of that, like there was just so many other examples of games like that where it's just like, how did you guys even manage that? And it was incredible. Like it was,
and then they re-signed their coach in the midst of
that was also
not winning a game. That was an all-timer.
That was underratedly
the whole PR media blitz too around that. They hadn't won a game. They lost 7-0, and Will Kuntz going on the fucking Cooligans podcast being like, dude, I used to work for the Yankees. It was awesome. And
my general manager friend for the Yankees said that if I was in baseball, I would have gotten fired already.
Yeah.
Don't say that, Will.
Don't say that, Will.
Say that. Say that, and then that was a great moment, like when he gave that interview on the Cooligans, and then immediately they lost 7-0 to the Red Bulls. That was great. And then, the whole signing Greg Vanney to the contract extension in the middle of a 16-game record winless run to start the season, and then them having to give the press conference of like, we have extended this man. We believe he is the man to lead this club to the glory that it's rightfully deserved. And you look at the record, and it's like 14-3, and you're extending your coach. Which I even said at the time, like, I can understand why they feel like Greg Vanney is like Mr. Galaxy, the guy for that job. But the optics of the timing of that, he even said it. I remember at his press availability after he signed that extension, he literally said, to his credit, I guess, like, I think guilty is the word that he used for how he felt for having his extension announced in the middle of a 17-match winless run. I mean, I hope we get content like that from them next year. I doubt that that's going to happen. I would be surprised if that happens.
Yeah,
but you never know.
I don't know. But look what Daniel's saying, and I agree with this because I just pulled up their cap space here, and it's LA Galaxy will have cap space issues next year. They have a hard time adding new players in the offseason. They're going to have to buy a bunch of international spots next season. They're going to have to cut their it's gonna be a shit show, dude. It's gonna be another one. We're gonna have another one. They're gonna have to ship Royce. There's no way they can keep Royce.
They put themselves in a situation where, honestly, if it was like a multi-year endeavor to get back to normality, that honestly wouldn't surprise me. I've been thinking of it like this year has to be the brunt of it, and they can start building back towards being a respectable team again next year. But I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe that's not the case. I haven't actually looked at their cap situation to know, but
yeah.
Maybe we'll get more. There's just no Ricky Pooge coming back alone is gonna add like a couple of tenths.
Yeah, but it's like how well is he gonna come back? Like how good is he gonna come back?
You can. He's 23, 24, and modern medical science, like an ACL, you can come back pretty much the same from that, especially at his age.
He's 26,
it is a question though. Like any major long-term injury like that is a question.
He's gonna need a ramp up. It's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to ship more players next year. You're gonna have to sign. Like I don't know, man. I don't think it gets easier for here, and that's why I'm saying, Willie boy, I don't know why you would turn down that interview with St. Louis, because at least St. Louis is in a position where you could make some signings. And
you can also be bad, and it's like
it's fine,
understandable.
Yeah,
the Galaxy being this bad is like a national disgrace.
Yeah,
St. Louis, they're a new club. You know, they don't have the history for that to be as much of a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Jake says, does LA Galaxy want Danny Musovski? They're the type of club that should. The Galaxy.
Yeah.
I could see it. I've been saying Atlanta. I'm just looking at these teams right now. Atlanta, the Galaxy, Atlanta, Toronto, maybe a little Austin FC, maybe a little Real Salt Lake. Those are the teams that come to mind for Moose, but also for a guy like Rothrock as well, man. Like, they're the types of guys those teams should be targeting. And I don't say that to manifest it. I say that to prepare us all for the reality that once the off season, it's more of a topic for the off season, but that stuff is going to happen. So we may as well all prepare for it early and focus on the playoffs first. But
yeah,
same recovery optimism for Paul Arriola. He's a little older than Ricky Pooge. He's like,
and he's done it before,
but it was a different knee, right? But now he's done both.
Yeah.
32, he's done both. So I think that's when it gets a little dicier. Ricky Pooge, we forget this. He's like literally 23, 24 years old.
26.
No way.
Yep, he's 26.
He's born in the league for that long?
Yeah.
No shot.
So I'm telling you.
He got to the league when he was 22. You're right. Wow.
Yeah.
He's 26. That is still young enough where I think you can come back from an ACL, but
I like to hear that because I'm about to turn 26. So I fear someday that's going to happen to me. I don't want it to, knocking on wood, but I'm just saying, like, it's good to know that I have Ari's
you're Ricky Pooge's age. I'm Paul Arriola's age.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all fine and it's all good. Everyone can recover from an ACL. I have an announcement, Ari.
Yeah.
We're going to have a returning guest coming on Lobbing Scorchers at the end of October.
Who's that?
Miss Katie Wilson.
Oh, let's go.
Miss Katie Wilson will be back. Confirmed.
All right.
I also reached out to the Bruce Harrell campaign. They have not gotten back to me.
They're not going to get back to you.
They have not got. We asked them to come on in an NPR article. And
Lobbing, in case no one saw, Lobbing Scorchers was on NPR. So
should we pop up that audio?
I don't want to listen to it because I hate hearing my own voice.
Okay, fair enough.
I encourage others to listen to it if you haven't yet. It's pretty funny that we're in that. I think
we are on that.
It was because I don't know if anyone watching hadn't seen that we interviewed Katie Wilson, but we interviewed Katie Wilson back when she was not
an up and comer.
was not like that was so long ago, like in her candidacy, that she was not, I don't think, considered like a serious candidate at all, which is probably why
I don't think she was
on
polling
our
at
show.
all.
Yeah. But so we interviewed her, and then her candidacy took off, which I think that we can take credit for.
100%. Yep.
And now she might actually low key win potentially, and we're gonna have her back on returning guest, and hopefully we get credit for launching her campaign.
We'll have to ask her.
But that's she got the Lobbing Scorchers bump. Exactly.
She did, yeah.
And that's sick that she's coming back.
And you got to call out Logan Paul on NPR for it.
I called out Logan Paul?
Yeah, you said Donald Trump, Logan Paul, terrible content, but really smart.
Savvy. So yeah, I did say that. Savvy strategy. Strategy.
You're like terrible content, but really smart.
Yeah, unfortunately, they cooked with that strategy. But like it is, that's sort of what the NPR article is about.
Yeah, exactly. You guys should go read
it. It's like a similar strategy with a different demographic. Yeah, okay, let's do this soccer wise sound and then call it a night. Does that sound good, Noah?
Sounds great.
All right, let's do that right now. All right, so what we're gonna do to oh whoops. There it is.
One of those buttons.
So we're going to play a little segment from Soccer Wise with David Goss. It's Doyle and Bogert are on the panel, and they were doing.
They don't call us back in anymore, Ari.
Yeah, I know. It's we're not big time enough.
We're not big time enough. It's fine.
They were doing
get more live stream views sometimes than you guys, but it's fine. It's fine.
That's exactly. You know, that's
it's fine. No, it's cool. No, it's like I get it. It's totally cool. It's chill.
There's definitely, I mean, it's 1 a.m. Eastern time, so they're definitely not tuned into this.
No.
But so what they were doing, chat, was they were doing a little thought exercise where before the season started, they did over or under point lines for every team in the league. So it was like DC United 31 points, and then they all guessed over or under, and then they went back with the season about to end and looked at which teams they got correct on the over under and which teams that they got wrong on the over under, and they were discussing like what they might have missed, what they got right, and what they got wrong, all that stuff. So we're gonna play their segment, them talking about their Seattle over under, and see what the national pundits had to say, kind of assessing Seattle's season as a whole, and then we're gonna react to their takes and talk about if we agree or disagree. So let me pull that up right now. There it is. Our friends at Soccer Wise. This is good.
Dude, Tom's shirt is fire.
Wow. Yeah, Lithuania.
Okay, King.
All right, let me know if
he said, "I'm back with the Athletic now. Let me drip or drown."
Tom's kind of always dripping.
He's always dripping. Doyle's also dripping. Doyle gives me Karl Marx.
59.5 points.
Can you hear this now?
Cincinnati
yeah.
59.
It's a little quiet, but
yeah. Wait, I can't really hear. Oh wait, I think I'm on the wrong input.
So we are all incorrect on Seattle. We are all correct on Cincinnati. On the Seattle side, I think the Club World Cup and Leagues Cup is a portion of this. Injuries are a portion of this as well. As Tom likes to keep saying, I'll still trust the process.
T to P.
If Seattle Sounders wins 2025 MLS Cup, I will not be surprised. And that's the team that they have set up right now.
I would agree. This is like they went deep. They obviously winning Leagues Cup, having the Club World Cup. That was a lot over the summer, and injuries picked up. And Roldan now with the national team, which has been awesome to see. But it was just too much to kind of overcome on a week-to-week basis in MLS, and particularly now that like I don't know if they would, how long they've really been locked into the 5th seed, but it's not like they're really jockeying for position over the last several weeks here.
I mean, they were up until Leagues Cup, and I think they put everything they had emotionally into that Leagues Cup final, and then they I thought coming out of that, it was either going to go. They were going to blaze through the remainder of the schedule and just take that momentum, or there was going to be a letdown. And obviously there was going to be a letdown. And so
4-game winless run there from in starting.
And that's when they fell out of the race for like second or third in the conference. But this team, look, going into the season, the argument was for their week-to-week consistency more so than their top-end talent. And what they showed is that they have the top-end talent to go out and win a trophy again. But the week-to-week consistency, because of the injuries and because they were getting pulled in one direction with the Club World Cup and then another direction with Leagues Cup, like the week-to-week consistency was really hard to find. That said, like there's just not a better org. There's just not a better org in this league at all of the above, right? They just like I don't know, like LAFC.
Say his name. Say Paul Rothrock's name. Say it right now.
Tom, what are the chances that Paul Rothrock is on the Sounders next year?
I don't know, man. I think a lot of teams should be trying to get him, and I think Seattle should obviously be trying to re-sign him.
I think high.
I'm very curious to see how that one plays out here.
Yeah.
The only question on the org stuff is the like Jesus Ferreira. I mean, Paul Arriola, there was nothing they could do about. He got hurt. Of like whether they made the right calls on those players. But inside of the restrictions they had, they did as well as they could. This, I guess me questioning better org is, I would include ownership in organization. And while they're stable and consistent, they did not take a risk to try and get massively better for the Club World Cup.
Oh, see, I disagree.
Ryan Kent, mate.
I just think in terms of getting Ferreira and Arriola, that was the risk they took. But
that's great.
It was a smart.
Craig
It was a
Weibel
smart, calculated.
Do.
It was a smart and calculated one because it did keep the floor high, and it was a way of soaking up those minutes. And what we've seen from the way they played at the Club World Cup and then the way they played at the Leagues Cup, they might have a higher ceiling than anybody in MLS.
And they because of Jordan Morris hitting those bonuses, they did not have an open DP spot to go spend $10 million, even if they wanted to. And again, they weren't going to your point, though, Cos.
And that's where I
still
think if you look at this and you say, if Albert Rusnak is the DP 10 that you're going to sign, it's a different stratosphere, and it didn't give you a chance to potentially push through a Club World Cup group that they played really well in. That was top-end talent that they did over the line. And if maybe
for real
healthy, they do, and I'm wrong about all of this, but whatever. Let's talk about this next week when we get it.
David, be so fucking for real right now. David, Mr. Goss.
I was gonna wait to hit the Goss take, but it sounds like you have something to cover.
Are we being serious?
Okay, well here's what I want to say. Well, first of all, shout out Soccer Wise. Go sub to their channel. But okay, so I disagree with what he was saying there too. We're gonna talk about that. But I was glad that he brought up the devil's advocacy, just because it is that exact talking point that he was giving is something that got brought up.
That's a brigade talking point.
It's a bit of a brigade talking point, but it's actually not even. I think brigade talking point is a little dismissive. Like it is a fair thing to ask. I don't agree with the conclusion of, kind of what he was getting at of like they didn't show enough ambition to move on in the Club World Cup. I don't agree with that conclusion, but those were I think fair conversations to have at the time, at least, especially before we saw what happened in the Club World Cup and going into the season. Like we didn't know if the roster was as good, I think, as it turned out to be. So it is those were points that I think are worth addressing, even if I don't agree with them. But anyway, what do you think of that take? We'll start with that take, and then there's a couple other things I wanted to hit there.
I guess I'm just confused as to what you think was the problem with the way, like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, yes, a $10 million striker was the reason that they didn't beat PSG. A $10 million striker is the reason that they didn't beat Botafogo. No, the reason that they didn't beat Botafogo was because Nuhu gave up a dumbass free kick. The reason that they didn't beat PSG is because PSG had $1 billion more of a roster on the field, and the reason they didn't beat Atletico Madrid is because they're a better team. I have to point out, because it was the one that Goss used as the example.
Who scored in the game against Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid? Who scored? It was Albert Rusnak, okay? Like the number 10 not being able to produce against like a team of that stature or whatever was definitely not the issue. He was one of the only reasons they had a chance in the game for the amount of time that they did when he scored that goal. So like when he's getting at with like if you have Albert Rusnak as your 10, that is like a tier below the type of player you would need to be competitive in the Club World Cup. I mean, if this
they were never going
theoretical
to be competitive. They were competitive. It wasn't even that they were good. They were competitive. They were competitive with him.
They were never getting out of the group.
They were never getting out of the group.
Yeah.
They were never getting out of the group. And here's the other truth to it is, I'm sorry, but Messi and Miami don't get out of that group either. Messi and Miami don't get out of that group. I'm sorry.
Well,
So
I mean, we literally saw what happened when they played PSG. We saw they lost way worse than Seattle.
And this is what I'm saying. You could spend the most money ever spent in the entirety of MLS on a 10, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We said this ad nauseum at the time, like because there was so much discourse going around of like them not signing Noah Ohio or whatever U22 was like unambitious and going to ruin their chances in the Club World Cup. But it's just like the reality is like if we accept this hypothetical where they move off Rusnak and spend a bunch of money on this higher tier 10, it wouldn't have made a difference, man. It wouldn't have. It just wouldn't have. Like, I'm sorry to burst anyone's bubble on that. I know a lot of people are still upset about it, but like, honestly, you're frankly delusional to think that would have made a difference. It wouldn't have made a difference. The number 10 that you did have is the only one who scored a goddamn goal in the Atletico Madrid game. So like, I know Goss wasn't like trying to blame him, but a lot of fans were. So like, we gotta be serious about that. I get
and also it's one thing to say that the ownership group is stingy, quote unquote, or they are not Arthur Blank. They're not Arthur Blank. But we've said this again ad nauseum. What is the Arthur Blanks of the world that kind of money getting you? What is it getting you? You're fighting for the fucking wooden spoon. And the Sounders are playing Messi in the final.
And winning.
Emphatically.
Yeah.
So I don't quite understand where on one hand you're like, such a great organization, but the ownership, it's kind of shitty. Like, yeah, okay, maybe the money isn't there. And we spent 2 months basically talking shit on ownership for that. I don't understand how you think that that's going to completely change this team. And that was the problem. That's silly. Silly.
So this is another thing I was thinking about with their discussion, which is like, when you take Leagues Cup out of it and you just look at the table, 1.5, 1.6 points per game, whatever they're at right now, they finish in 5th. They're not in the top 4. That is like below the standard of a regular Seattle Sounders season. So they were talking about the reasons for that, and I think they correctly brought up, so much time and energy and resources were spent going for Leagues Cup. And the question was whether they were going to be able to maintain their level after the tournament, if it was going to be a springboard or a detriment. It turned out to be a detriment. They didn't play very well for those first few games after Leagues Cup, and that's part of the reason why they're in 5th and not in the top 4. I think that is all true, but no, when I was listening to them to talk about that, I was also thinking like, yeah, like that is part of it, but like, I would argue a bigger reason that they're in 5th right now, more than that, is because they got a lot of dumb red cards and shot themselves in the foot in these games before that, like dating back before Leagues Cup even started, and really independent of any hangover, of any energy level, of whatever lineup was on the field. They could have had the exact same season, played the exact same quality of footy in the regular season, and also won Leagues Cup. And if they just didn't go crash out red card boys for like a quarter of the games, they would have been in the top 4 anyway. Like that's, it's like, man, like I get what they're saying and I agree with it to an extent, but also like I think that they actually, if you're just looking purely at the level of footy that they've played this year, I would argue it was better than 1.5, 1.6 points per game. But when you get 9 red cards, okay, when you get 9 red cards, and then also just have generally a lot of situations where you
dropping points in the last 10 minutes of game,
drop points, like you could have ended up in 5th even if you didn't even play in Leagues Cup at all. Yeah. Like with how many times that happened this year. So that's what I was thinking about. Like, man, like if you just had like a little, even in 3 or 4 of these games, you were just able to hold all the points that you had. Literally, like a couple of these situations we're talking about, man, it's literally like the 93rd minute. And if you see out the game, you get 3 points, and then you're giving up these equalizers. That shit adds up. That's how you end up in 5th place. But it just, in a way, like it's frustrating because like they should have been able to get top 4 even with the Leagues Cup thing. Like there's no real reason hangover wise why they shouldn't have been able to do that. They got 9 red cards.
I don't agree. I don't agree with the take on that. And I also don't agree with Jesus Ferreira and Paul Arriola being they're doing that's an unambitious signing too. And
that's kind of what he was implying there as well.
Doyle is pushing back too and saying like, well, no, like that was smart. They used the space that they had to get assured players, like players who you know how they were going to play in this league and perform when you already had trust in your team that you had built. They were 1 game away from MLS Cup last year, lest we forget. 1 game away, and if they had won that game, they would have won the whole fucking thing. I mean, like that's like I'm
gonna it's Lobbing Scorchers after dark, so I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. When it's all said and done, the Jesus Ferreira trade is gonna go down as one of the better like interleague MLS trades ever made by any club. And he needs to play for the team for I think a couple more years and put up some more stats for that take to be fully validated. But guess what? Winning the Leagues Cup in the fashion that they did over the team that they did and the role that Jesus Ferreira played in that game and that whole tournament, trade's already validated purely based off that. That's it. The whole trade is already validated because they don't win that tournament. They don't win that game. They don't win that tournament without him. Albert Rusnak was hurt that whole tournament. You know who filled in that spot and played it at a high enough level where they were still able to win the tournament over Inter Miami in the way that they did? Jesus Ferreira. So it was already whatever, like any ambition discourse you want to have about that trade, that's already out the window no matter what happens the rest of his Sounders career. If he ends up staying here for a couple more years at least and playing at the level that he's been playing at, first of all, I think more stat sheet production is going to come. Like I really believe that if you wanted to point to something that Jesus Ferreira has not lived up to this year, maybe it would be that the stat sheet production is not like where you would expect and want it to be for a player of his caliber. I think like if he's on this team next year, that's going to even out there. That's like a variance thing. That's going to even out and he's going to get on the stat sheet more. And the more he establishes himself as that cornerstone type player, the more it's like, wow, you got this guy for Leo Chu in a pick or whatever, like whatever it was. Like that is one of the best interleague trades in MLS history, bar none. Like what's even the counter argument?
There's none. It's if you know ball, and I've been saying this, if you know ball, you are impressed and love Jesus Ferreira as the dynamic and incredibly versatile player that he is. And if you don't, you're looking, I don't know what you're seeing. I literally cannot comprehend the argument. And I can't comprehend the argument either that it was a bad idea to bring someone in under the DP level, fleece FC Dallas because he didn't want to be there anymore, put him on a roster spot that he's being paid basically. I mean, he's getting paid a lot of money, but like he's getting paid basically not a DP. You took a DP off another team and brought him to your team to make him a TAM player, and you're going to tell me that that's bad? That's some. What are you talking about?
It low key, like what they were able to pull, getting him on the roster on the books as not a DP. It's not the same thing as the cheating that you always complain about with Inter Miami, but they pulled a fast one in like a very similar way. They got a DP quality player, best 11 quality player on the roster on the books, like as a TAM player. Like that's what Inter Miami has been doing, and why everyone says they're cheating.
Yeah. And
so
yeah,
that's except
we didn't have to cheat to do it. We just have a good enough like ownership and not necessarily ownership, but we have the pedigree of an organization that people want to come and play here. And so if you're going to tell me it's just like you didn't really take a risk you didn't spend any beep, 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 beep. I don't care. If you're going to bring in a player like Jesus Ferreira, you can be cheap all fucking day. But there's not going to be a million Jesus Ferreiras. And then next season, I promise you, what we're going to see next season is a U22 striker signed for anywhere between $3 to $8 million. And you know what? Are people going to say that's ambitious? Are people going to say that it's bad if this player doesn't come in and immediately hit? Yes, they are. They're going to have all this shit to say, even though it's exactly what they've been asking for. I don't understand. You have to look at process, like you always say. The process on the Jesus Ferreira thing was ingenious. And even Paul Arriola as well, bringing in someone who you knew immediately would have a connection with him. That was genius. They looked insane in CONCACAF Champions Cup. Let us not forget, those FC Dallas boys were absolutely balling. They were absolutely balling. I can't agree. I cannot agree with what our East Coast soccer-wise fellas are saying at all.
And to be fair to Goss, I don't want to pick on Goss. I think he was devil's advocating. I don't think I don't think he believes that like
this is an indictment on your personality, Goss.
Well, I don't think I really don't think he would argue that like the Jesus Ferreira trade was unambitious. But I mean, it was worth him bringing it up, honestly, because that was talked about and that did get argued. We've been I think making our views on that clear this whole time. But I think when you now that we're at the end of the season, we can look at the totality of these things more and be like, all right, how did it objectively work out? And
I didn't have to get a tattoo.
What's funny is that like you low key were pretty close.
Yeah.
And like that because I know there's the thing is, no, we already know there's gonna be people that try and judge it purely off the stat sheet, which is honestly, the stat sheet's honestly not even that bad. He's had 5 goals, 10 plus assists, all comps. If you told me before the year that that's what they were going to get on the stat sheet out of the trade, I would have said that's less goals than I would have wanted, but I'll take it. But I also, I mean, I'll be on the, I'll be beating this drum for as long as this discourse is going on. It's the fact that his stats aren't better this year is just bad luck. Like, I really think that. Like,
and that, Ari, that's why you can't always believe in statistics. And that's why you can't always sometimes the eye test don't lie.
The stat sheet can lie. But it's also like
it's also not a bad stat sheet.
It's not a bad stat sheet. That's there's probably a couple of you out there watching right now. There's probably a couple of you that are going to try and do the stat sheet thing. You're already like formulating the takes. He only had this many goals.
Paragraph. Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying that he only had this many goals and this many. That's not a good point. Okay. You got to look at the assists. And also, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but like Ferreira in particular, Arriola got hurt, but Ferreira in particular, he brings so much outside of goals and assists that I didn't even expect or know about. We both watched him a lot on FC Dallas and respected him a lot as a player. I had no idea he was this good at pressing. I had no idea he was this much of a dog on defense. I had no idea that he was like this unselfish in terms of his playmaking and willingness to combine with other players and set guys up. So he is most definitely the type of player that he brings everything with his skill set in addition to the production, to the goals and assists. Daniel coming through with the 5 for the donating to send Lobbing Scorchers to Allianz Field Fund. It's not totally sealed as Allianz Field yet, but it's going to the same fund nonetheless. We appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you for that. Ferrer needs to hire Zaha as his PR manager. He needs to get on Snapchat with Zaha.
We need dude. Oh my god, dream interview on Lobbing Scorchers is Zaha.
Dude, you can tell that he is just dying for a platform to come cook.
Dude, we need. Oh my god, I will fly.
How is he not?
Charlotte,
how is he
bro.
not become one of these guys who has like players who has the podcast going? What like Zaha?
We have
That's
an
what he wants.
opportunity here.
That's what he wants. Like he wants to podcast so bad.
Dude, oh my god.
Just put a mic in front of that man and just let him.
Yeah.
Just cook.
Let him cook. God, you know what? Okay, we got next season. I do want to do more, have some more interviews and stuff. Like I feel like next season is going to be our biggest season ever. We're going to reload. We've had our biggest season this year. We kind of exploded this season, but like next season, I feel like we're going to even.
This season was like building the foundation.
Yeah.
Next season, we're gonna crank it to the next level. We also got pretty blessed with Club World Cup and Leagues Cup.
Yeah.
But you know, when you get the content lobbed over the plate, you also got to capitalize.
You gotta mash it, dude. When you get the meatball, you gotta hit your 63rd home run, and that's what the Mariners didn't do.
The Mariners need to take advice from Lobbing Scorchers. Exactly. Noah's podcasting
again. I've come out of my depression and I'm podcasting again.
Next season, we're gonna gun for the Willie Zaha weekly segment. Where we're not even going to be on the show. We're just going to send him a link to a Lobbing Scorchers stream and let him just take it away. But,
could you imagine the like Wednesday Zaha show? Oh my God.
I would be locked in. I'd be locked in.
Me too.
All right. No, coming up on 2 hours for this show. Should we wrap her up? I'm about ready to wrap her up. All right, let's wrap it up. That's going to do it for us tonight, folks. Thank you as always for tuning in. This was a fun one. Appreciate you guys bearing with the late start. Although, like we were saying, I'm pretty sure most people were appreciative of that, so they could watch the Mariners try and go to the World Series. They're not doing too well at that, but 2 more games to go. But appreciate you all staying up with us and laying down the content. Decision day watch along starting should we start it like 10 minutes before the games, or
I think I have it scheduled like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something, right, but we'll see when we pop on.
Just check here or on either of our Blue Skies to find out exactly when we're sending that out. But I'm excited for this. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be cooking all of decision day and giving live takes and commentary. The Sounders are in the early slate, so we'll hit that.
Like the video. Sorry guys, I see 4 likes on my screen, so
on our video.
Yeah, I saw 4. Okay, I hadn't refreshed. It's 29 now, but still,
that's not nearly enough. That's not nearly enough. Everyone, like the video. If you've not done so yet, sub to the channel. Be sure to tune in for the Decision Day watch along. It's going to be sick. And then it's playoff time.
We're blowing through this season.
I know it flew by, but the playoff coverage is going to be going off. We'll see how far Seattle makes it, but we're gonna be covering the whole playoffs no matter what. So the content keeps rolling. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on Saturday afternoon around 1:00. Love you guys.
We love you guys. Peace.
Some people come to Lumen Field for the tactics, for the soccer, the atmosphere, and some come for Paul Rothrock's hair. Me personally, I come for both. because I have agendas to push. Live soccer isn't just better, it's way more personal. From making friends to becoming the guy in your section that's just constantly yelling about advanced statistics. Get tickets to any Sounders match by visiting lobbingscorchers.com/tickets. You support the pod, our agendas, the vibes, and the chaos.